J Chip here. We're going to recap the slip I sent out yesterday. Another one off. These are getting a bit annoying, but I'll just run through this quick. I'll just run through the slip very quickly. We had Brook Lopez under 11 PRA. If you remember, I said he got bumped down from 11.5 to 11. We still played the bump because there was, I believe, Bet Online as our major source of confirmation saying that he was his over-under was set to 9.5. So already we were getting a 1.5 points, rebounds, assist discrepancy with his line here on Prizepicks at 11. So we had to take the under there. That ended up cashing super easily. Jump to this Musa play in the Charlotte game. Guys, I don't know what happened. The OKC Thunder were favored by 16 points, according to Bet365 at home, and they just dropped the game to probably one of the worst teams in the league, which is honestly very surprising, but he ended up going over anyway as a starting center for the Hornets. Just cracked this line at 12 rebounds, and then this Braun play, I was loving this play. I remember MGM had him at 15.5 points and rebounds for his over-under, so this was always going to be a good play. Unfortunately, he did not play, but it didn't really matter because Musa ended up chalking this whole power play. Chalked down that slip. We really got to get back in the green here. We're looking for our first win of 2026. We're going to jump right into that. Before we jump into the best parts of these videos though, guys, very important. I was teasing a little announcement yesterday. Well, this is the announcement. A couple changes coming to the site. First, we'll run down let's run down the good news first. New tier coming out. It's going to be Ruby tier. I'm going to drop more of that info when all these changes do drop on January 8th. So there's still 2 days until this new tier drops. It's basically going to be stepping a bit away from the fantasy sports space, the Prizepicks space a bit, jumping into just regular markets, regular betting lines, including money lines, point spreads, team totals on all these match odds props, and that's exactly what the Ruby tier is gonna entail. So kind of the same deal as the optimizer. We're basically just gonna spit out the top, or I should say the most value edged picks, whether you're taking money line spreads, point totals on just mainline markets for these games. So instead of doing player props on, we're gonna delve more into teams. This is gonna be big just because there's so much data regarding teams, and I know there's a huge space for bettors that really enjoy betting on just outcomes of games rather than individual players. So if you guys, obviously everything's going to remain the same on the player prop side. We still got all the sharp money tool, the player prop optimizer. Just a bit of a update though to the gold tier. For now, the gold tier is currently priced at $22.99 USD, and it includes the sharp money tool and the player prop optimizer as currently constructed. When the changes come into effect in 2 days on January 8th, this new gold tier, including both of these tools, will be bumped up to $34.99. This is to make way for the Ruby tier coming in, which is going to be $39.99 for a bunch of plays on, again, just a match odds, all the markets that I named before. And then the silver tier now is just going to be our classic player prop optimizer on its own. This is going to be the price of $22.99. So basically what I'm saying is that there is 2 days left, but if I were you guys and still somehow play on Prizepicks and all these fantasy apps and do not have tools or resources to snipe out the best plays, it is your time to save $12 and get the sharp money tool on top of the player prop optimizer. You're getting a huge bundle here for the price of $22.99. In the next 2 days after this, the prices get changed, and that is no longer the case. So if you guys want to try out both these fantasy tools that I always use in the videos that I will be using in this one today, then I really advise to get subbed in the next 2 days. So with that being said, obviously very excited for the Ruby tier. I'm going to break down more of a video of that, maybe go into a video of some match odds. We'll take some plays from some games rather than player props. Obviously we're going to stick to these videos as well, but very excited to unlock this new space in the betting sphere. So with that being said, let's jump into the best parts of these videos, which is creating with the slips with you guys. Always look forward to these, and we look forward to it a bit more when we're winning, but with the amount of volume we're getting in on the daily, we're expected a couple swings in the losses, and that's just to try to be conservative, try to bet the same kind of unit size on each slip. So what we're gonna do is jump right into it. Right away, we got a taco play from Prizepicks. Thank you very much. It says it's expiring in 4 minutes, but I mean, we'll check in 5 minutes if it's still here. We should have an hour to play this, so I'm gonna get this in. But worst case, if you guys see this video by the time it was off the board, Banquero, whatever you want to say, by the time this guy's off the board, you could just replace this with, this is a great plus EV pick. We're gonna have to play this, and we'll come back. Okay, listen, we'll come back to the sharp money tool. I want to very quickly look at a play that I had that's so unfortunate. So I ended up having a play of the day, Tristan Da Silva from this Magic game, points assist. I had him under 12.5. You see they bumped him down 11.5, and now their liking is over. Of course, because Prizepicks bumped him down a whole points assist. The reason why I liked that play originally at 12.5 and the under, a couple reasons, is because first of all, some books already had him priced at 11.5 before the bump. So we were getting a discrepancy there. And it matches well with this Banchero play if you're playing it off rip, because the more points that Banchero scores means the less scoring opportunities for his teammate like Tristan da Silva. So it would have been nice to play Banchero's over with Silva's under there. I'll see, maybe they bumped him back. They did not, so he's at 11.5 here, but I ended up getting him in at 12.5 on his under in the VIP slip, as well as the play of the day on all my socials, Discord, X. You guys should definitely check that out. Link to that will be in the description of this video. But he's not here, so I just have to make sure that was out of the question. It is, so we're gonna have to move forward with another play from the tools. There's actually plenty to choose from, so it shouldn't be too hard. I'm looking for plays that have 2+ bookmakers, so it's gonna knock out a couple college plays here. That's fine. I want at least 2+ bookmakers, and I want to see where we could really attack Prizepicks and see where we're getting the best value from. I'm going through it quickly, but if you guys see something that you like already from the tool, you're more than welcome to play it in your own slip. Also, like in this play from college basketball, I said I wanted 2+ bookmakers, which is the case here. We have Antonio Chol points under 9.5, so it's a -138 consensus favorite to his under. And you see here the two books that are offering him on the tool, they have him priced at 8.5, so we're already getting a 1-point discrepancy. And you see here across the other apps, other competitors to Prizepicks, they don't have him offered. So this is going to be one of those optimizer plays. Unfortunately, not on the exchanges. Checked before, it's not there, but I do like this Antonio Cho play under 9.5, which is what we're going to take. And this is why you check the alternate lines, guys. You see here that Prizepicks also has his line up at 9 points. So if we are going with an under, which we will be going with because the tool says he's favored to go under 9.5, if you want to go with this under on the 9.5, then this is what we're going to go with. I mean, why take an under 9? Because if he finishes with 9 points, that they have both lines up for full value, so we could just take the 9.5 and go under. Unfortunately, Dean Wade doesn't look like he's coming back to reality at his 6.5 line, so we're going to have to get rid of this play, even though probably the best play I was going to see in this video, obviously minus the tackle prop. But so far we got Paolo Banchero 21.5 points over, we got Antonio Chol under 9.5 points. Let's do one more to round off this slip. I am a fan of the 3-man powers, even though, yeah, hit or miss sometimes. Any power plays like that, I mean, you're out of the game, so we just got to keep pushing them through. I do love that 6x total payout on the 3-mans, and honestly love that Prizepicks ended up changing that, because once upon a time it was 5x for that, and it just mathematically wasn't profitable long term. So love that they ended up making that switch, as did Underdog, which is actually funny because Underdog Fantasy, if you want to play 3-mans, that's probably the best app to play it on, because they're offering 6.5x instead of 6x for a full 3-man hit. So don't neglect that app either, because they're giving you a bit more payout for the same amount of picks right in the slip. So I'm just gonna keep going here. I want to see what else we can fish out. What I could do with Dean Wade is search out if he's got another play that's maybe okay. So they do have him at 12. This wouldn't be a bad play either for D Wade. I'll tell you why. First of all, wait a minute. I'll tell you right now what we're gonna do with Dean Wade. This is what we're gonna do with Dean Wade. I just saw this scrolling through the optimizer. Somehow this line's still up. Let me see on other books. Okay, this is a fantastic play. Dean Wade rebounds. Now everyone's tripping out right now. If you're confused why I'm taking a yellow play, let me explain very quickly. Dean Wade rebounds under 5, 4.5 on Underdog. So already we're getting a 0.5 discrepancy in our favor. Good. But now I look at the major books and I'm like, wait a minute. FanDuel has him at -114 each side, meaning -114 to his over and to his under to finish, or over under his 4.5 line. So that means he's basically a 50-50 chance, according to FanDuel, to finish with 5 rebounds or for 4 rebounds. And this is perfect because we're getting his push line at 5. So we're basically saying he's got a 50% chance to go for 4 or less. And I'll take the chance on that every time, because what happens in the other case? Well, the other 50 chance, he finishes with 5 most likely, as the market's saying, and we just push the line at 5. It doesn't break the line, it doesn't chalk us, because we just gray it out. But you see here, that's not the only book that has that. Bet Online very close to 50-50 at 4.5. ESPN Bet is 50-50 at 4.5, and then you see here other books have juice for him to finish with 4 or less. So I'm really liking this 5 line. This PRA was also a good line, but they bumped it down from 13.5, like you see from the tool here, to 13. That would have been good because a lot of other places are offering this PRA line for Dean Wade at 12.5, but that's not the case. I will stick with this rebounds line. I just want to see if we'll check together if the Cavaliers are fully healthy, meaning Mobley and Allen are in the starting lineup. Okay, so Wade's actually day-to-day. Jared Allen would be huge if he's playing, because that would take away, beautiful. So he's now probable for Tuesday's game. That's perfect. So if Mobley and Allen end up playing this game against the Pacers, Dean Wade's going to have a lot of trouble collecting rebounds, at least defensively or even offensively at that point. Even more confidence for me to take Dean Wade under 5 rebounds. And again, I'll check the alternate lines, and this is perfect. So Picks is telling us that his 5.5 is a demon prop, meaning that he's very favored to go for 5 or less, and that's exactly what we get at 5 rebounds. And then his nearest goblin props at 3.5. Prizepicks is telling us that he's a favorite to go for 4 or more rebounds, but because we have that demon at 5.5, the goblin at 3.5, we could see that Prizepicks is telling us that Dean Wade's expected outcome range for his rebounds line is going to be that 4 to 5 rebounds, and that's exactly in agreement with what the books are telling us at this 5 or at this 4.5 over under. And even the fact that Underdog Fantasy already bumped it down to 4.5, we're getting a lot of value taking us under his push line at 5 here. So that's going to do it for the slip. I'll recap very quickly the taco play. Again, if you don't see this Banchero play on your board by the time you're watching this video, you could just replace it with the next taco. These are the 2 picks that we got from the tools. This Antonio Cho play, this 9.5 points, we're going to go for under. He was offered at 8.5 on 2 books, so we're getting a good discrepancy there. And then this Dean Wade here offered at 4.5 on Underdog Fantasy and on the rest of the market, with juice pushing down towards him finishing with 4 or less rebounds. So this push line is going to be very good value to get in this slip. This is going to be a 6x, another 3-man power, all or nothing. Do not play the flex play. I know it's tempting because we're usually one off anyway, but let's stick with the power plays, guys. This is the way we get our units when we're staying in the green here. You want to get a +5 units when this hits, because 6x is +5 units. I'm limited to $5 in this account, so this is what I'm going to have to play. You guys are more than welcome to put down a bit more. Just don't empty out your whole bankroll on every slip that you see. So that's going to do it for this video. Remember, guys, about the pricing changes and the new tier coming out January 8th, 12 a.m. Eastern, everything goes into effect. So if you guys want the gold tier, both these tools, Sharp Money tool and the player prop optimizer, all for the price of just one tier for $22.99, this is the time to get it in. You have a bit more, I don't know, whatever. You have the remainder of this day plus all tomorrow to get that done. So if you guys want to check out the tools for yourself, I really advise you to do it in the next 2 days before the pricing changes go into effect. That being said, again, thank you for all the support and everything. We really do appreciate it. We're going to keep pumping out the content for you guys, the free content, obviously the paid content for the subscribers. So thank you for all that. You guys can let us know what else you want to see in the comments. If you guys want me to go on other apps and then see, we could play around with Underdog Fantasy, Better Picks, Pick 6, whatever. They usually have a lot of value there also, but Prizepicks is really the bread and butter for a lot of people. So that's why I stick on this app. But you guys just let me know. So I'll get this video uploaded as soon as possible. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Take it easy.